All right, what's up, everybody? It's Charles Clark here, your human design coach. We're going to do another celebrity chart reading, and today we're focusing on Bradley Cooper. I'm going to try to keep this video a little bit shorter than last time. So just a quick little overview of what we're seeing with Bradley Cooper's chart. Sounds like there's a truck backing up outside. Hope that it's not too distracting. But all right, so we're looking at Bradley Cooper's chart here. This is found, you can find this on geneticmatrix.com. And so what can we decipher about Bradley Cooper's human design based on his body graph? So immediately one of the first things that jumps out at me is that he's a splenic projector. You can tell that he's a splenic projector, or you can tell at least he's a projector based on how he does not have a defined sacral center. And the sacral center is what it's known as the generative energy in people. It gives them the energy to go to work and to get up and build things. And so where every day you get up and there's a new day and a new amount of energy that you have to go spend. And the goal of every generator is to go and spend that energy in a way that is most satisfactory to that person. Spend their energy in the most satisfactorily of manners. So he does not have that. He is a projector. So that means that he does not have access to a consistent storehouse of energy that rejuvenates with every day. He's going to need a lot of rest in between his work. He can totally go do work. In fact, he has a defined root center, so he's going to have a consistent amount of pressure to get up and eventually go do something. He's got to go work on something. And because he's got the 2838, that is the gate of this is the channel of struggle. The gate, I'm mixing up, I don't remember exactly which one's which, but I think 28 is the gate of the game player, the preponderance of the great, and then 38 is the channel or the gate of struggle. So the creating the channel of struggle here. But it's about the question of what is worth struggling for in life. That is the question of people with that gate. And so anyway, so he feels a pressure to get up and move, but he only wants to go forward and move towards things that feel like they're worth it, that feel like the struggle, whatever struggle he's going to end up going through in order to do the thing, that it's actually worth it. That it's not just it's part of a bigger plan. It's worth contributing to. It's not just for some thing that doesn't matter. It's actually contributing to a bigger mission other than just himself. And he also has he's a connection from his splenic center to his heart center. So the splenic center is responsible for keeping him alive. If he's a splenic projector, which I am as well, so I totally understand this. The spleen is responsible for that moment-to-moment guidance of if something is good for your health or not. So he's one who is, really needs to trust his gut in the moment. Like it'll tell you right in the moment as to if something is good or not for you, and it'll tell him that as well. So he'll be presented with an opportunity, and he'll know pretty much immediately if it's a good opportunity for him or not. He also has the connection to the heart center, so he is a very, very confident, very assured. He's got something to prove, and he can make a decision and follow through with it on no other component other than his own willpower to just will him through the thing. This is the majority of the people of the population do not have this gate. Something like 30% of people actually have this gate or the center defined, and he's one of them. And so this tends to, people tend to be able to just push through things to make this happen for their lives. He has a completely open G center, which I don't see very often. I have a completely open G center as well. So this could translate to Again, the G center has to do with sense of direction and identity and love. And so when we don't have a defined G center, then it means it's an inconsistent way of filtering around that energy of life. So this can lead to questioning if they're going in the right direction, if they're hanging out with the right people, if they're in the right geographic location, if and in the still of night, he might find himself wondering if what he's doing is if what he's doing is like what he's supposed to be doing. Is this the direction of life I'm supposed to be going in? Am I looking for others to give me direction in life? Am I looking for others to give me love? Am I looking for others to tell me my identity? That's some of the things that happen with the open G center. He also has an undefined solar plexus here, and so this translates to having people with an undefined solar plexus can tap into the emotions of others. They can kind of feel, they can be more empathic in that sense. And they can also amplify the emotions of others. So if people are coming around them and they have a defined emotional center, then this person can almost act like a mirror or a magnifying glass back at it. So it's like the person with a defined emotional center is sending the energy out. It goes in and is received by the person with the open center, with the open solar plexus, and then it's like magnified and projected back at them. So they're going to feel twice as much of that emotion, whatever it is that they're feeling, when they're in proximity of this person, if Bradley Cooper in this example. He also has a undefined throat center. So he can, so the not self strategy of the undefined throat center is to look for attention. And this can also mean that once he starts talking, he doesn't know exactly what he's going to say. And so it's kind of pieced together as it's happening. He doesn't know exactly what he's going to do. A person with a defined throat center, which is the vast majority of the population, they can more aptly know what they're going to say ahead of time and know what they're going to do, and they just train ahead of time to do the thing that they're going to do. But this is going to be changing. It's going to be changing. He also has an undefined ajna center, a completely open ajna center. So the not self of the completely open ajna center, the undefined ajna center, is people pretending to be certain. People pretending to be certain. And so people with an undefined ajna center, they can spend a lot of time, one of their biggest fears is to have been found out by someone else that they don't know what they're talking about. And so what they'll do is they'll put on this front that they're really certain about what they're talking about. And he probably gets away with it because he's got a defined heart center. So he can be really confident, and people will feel his confidence, and so he could be a really good bullshitter. He could be a really good bullshitter, and he'll have no flippin' clue what he's talking about, but he will sound as confident about it as ever. And then in the still of night, when he's, what the thing is keeping him up at night is if he's recognizing that if he starts to notice that and starts to feel any type of conviction about not knowing what he's talking about. Now, that being said, also, it can just mean that what this can also lead to is lots of open-mindedness, potentially, about how potentially things could be, of looking for new ways to find a solution, right? That's the pro about this. The pro about if it's kept in a healthy ways, like it's lots of opportunity to find new solutions, because there's one looking for new potential solutions. You don't know what is the exact right way that something should be, and so therefore you have to experiment with a bunch of different ways. And that kind of brings us up to the head center. The head center is what pressures us to ask one question over another. So if he has a undefined head center, then he will find himself, he can naturally find himself thinking about things that don't matter and wondering if it matters. It'll probably be either future-oriented or present moment-oriented. He probably isn't spending much time trying to make sense of the past, but he will feel a pressure to contemplate what's happening in his present moment and then ideate about what's happening or what could happen in the future. So this is all kind of makes sense. Makes sense, when we think of his role in Limitless, the one who takes the pill. What do we see his character doing? He feels a pressure to move forward. He's a pressure to do something, but he doesn't know exactly what direction he's going in. So he sits at home and he kills time being a writer. And it's not until somebody else comes into his life, the one brother with the drug dealing brother, gives him the Limitless pill, and that gives him first gives him some direction, and then he is able to take that information and follow along with his Splenic Center told him that he could take the pill, and then he becomes very confident in what skills he can do, and he starts directing that energy towards the stock market. And then eventually, as he moves forward in his the movie progresses, and he becomes a politician. So politicians this is just a stereotype, but it nonetheless kind of feeds into the stereotype that politicians are really good at bullshitting. They don't know exactly what they're talking about, but they will act like they do very confidently. So anyway, that's all kind of, I'm just piecing this together right now. So you can kind of see a little bit of how this all works regarding his human design chart. And if you are interested in having your chart having your chart read, feel free to reach out and book a human design reading session. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.